After breaking up with Jack, I found out I was 3 months pregnant. I raised little sweetie alone for 5 years, but due to working 3 jobs, I suddenly passed away from a brain hemorrhage. I floated in midair, when suddenly I saw Jack, who has now become a movie star, knocked on my door. The door took a long time to open. "Who are you?" The one who opened the door was my daughter, Rose Baby. It took her a long time to reach the door lock on tiptoe. Her eyes were wary as she looked at my ex-boyfriend, also her biological father, Jack. Seeing it wasn't me, little sweetie immediately started to close the door. Jack propped the door open, frowning. "Where's Rose?" Little sweetie thought for a moment, then looked up with a radiant smile. "Are you looking for my mom?" "She's not home, she's at work." Jack's expression darkened. He asked again, "What about your dad?" "It's you, you're Rose Baby's father," I shouted anxiously in midair. But he couldn't hear me. Rose Baby thought for a moment. "My dad is making big money in a faraway place. Mom said he'll come get us once he earns enough." Jack frowned tightly. Suddenly, he laughed at himself mockingly. He muttered to himself in a low voice, "Ha, I must be crazy to think you'd wait for me." With that said, he turned and left. Suddenly, he paused again. He asked for Rose Baby's full name. "Rose Baby. Mom says I'm her little darling, so I'm called Rose Baby." Little sweetie said with great pride. Jack's gaze searched her face, as if searching for some proof, but in the end, he said nothing, stepped into his stretch Lincoln. I watched the distant car, shouting, "Don't go, Jack. If you leave, what will happen to our little treasure? She's only 5 years old. How can she survive alone?" I gently coaxed my daughter, who was blinking her eyes and watching the car disappear in a cloud of dust. "Be good, little treasure, go after daddy, now that mommy is gone. Only he can take care of you." But little sweetie couldn't hear it either. She just said, "What a strange uncle." Then she closed the door. At that moment, I wished I could slap myself hard. Why didn't I tell little sweetie who her father was earlier? Why didn't I show little sweetie a photo of her biological father? All of this is my fault. It doesn't matter if I die. But what about my daughter? Little sweetie swings her tiny legs, waiting for me to come home. The last rays of the setting sun fade away. The sky gradually darkens. I should have been back by now, because Rose Baby is afraid of the dark, but I'm already dead. My colleague just received the notification at the hospital that my rescue was unsuccessful. I needed to inform my family, but when I opened my phone, I found the family section in my contacts completely empty. However, they knew I had a child, so that evening, the home phone rang. The little one toddled on short legs toward the phone. "Hello." The childish voice made my colleague's eyes moisten. She didn't know how to tell a little girl that her mother had died. "Won't be coming back anymore." "Is that Mom?" Rose Baby's voice was filled with excitement. "Are you working overtime again?" "It's okay, Rose Baby is fine, not hungry at all. Rose Baby just ate the bread Mom bought." With that, she patted her round belly. "Rose Baby, your mother has just passed away." Rose Baby asked in confusion, "Where does passed away mean going?" "But it's okay, Mom will definitely take Rose Baby with her." On one occasion, I had to travel to a neighboring province for work. I wasn't comfortable leaving Rose Baby alone at home, so I took her with me. It was Rose Baby's first long trip, and she was thrilled by the scenery outside the train window, pointing excitedly at everything she saw. So now little sweetie still thinks I'm just away on a business trip somewhere. Upon hearing this, my colleague sighed, not sure what else to say. Had to hang up the phone. Finally, she represented the company and sent my remains to be cremated. All that remained of me was an urn of ashes. This night passed exceptionally slowly. It was also the first time I didn't come back. Every now and then, little sweetie would run to the door to see if I was there. But soon, frightened by the darkness, he would retreat back inside. This went on, back and forth, many times, unable to resist the drowsiness. She finally fell asleep hugging the teddy bear I bought. Dawn, the rooster crows. She was startled awake, and hurriedly ran to the door again. Seeing that I still hadn't returned, a trace of disappointment flashed across Rose Baby's face, but soon, she comforted herself again. "It's okay, Mom is just too busy, she'll be back soon." Having not eaten all night, little sweetie's stomach started growling. She could only make do with the bread I bought to fill her stomach. Then she opened the milk I had purchased, trying to imitate me. She wanted to boil some water to warm up the milk. "Mom said we can't drink cold water, or we'll get diarrhea," little sweetie said while holding a pot filled with water, "but her hands are so small, how could she carry it?" I was extremely anxious and told her not to do it, yet there was nothing to be done. Just as little sweetie stood on the stool, about to place the pot on the stove, her strength gave out. And water spilled all over the floor, even the pot fell onto her tiny foot, causing it to swell instantly. My heart aches as if a sharp blade were gouging it, yet I'm relieved it wasn't boiling water. Little sweetie began to sob softly. Soon after, he hugged his own feet, huffing and puffing. Mommy's not here, little sweetie, just sleep tight and it won't hurt anymore. She wiped her tears, moved a stool, sat in front of the main room, staring unblinkingly at the doorway. Baby, don't cry. When mommy comes back, she'll praise you for being so brave. Baby is so good, so sensible. Her sensibility breaks my heart. How I wish she would resent me now, blame me for being an unfit mother. But she just waited very, very obediently for me to return. 2 hours later, a car stopped in front of my house. A colleague knocked on the door. Little sweetie was so excited, thinking it was me, running extremely fast, but unexpectedly took a tumble. A sharp stone scraped his calf. But she just frowned and quickly got up. After speaking, seeing it wasn't me, her emotions then spiraled out of control, burst into loud sobs. Mommy, why isn't mommy back yet? Little sweetie's foot is swollen, and his leg hurts from the fall, but little sweetie has been very brave. But mommy still isn't back. Mommy doesn't care about little sweetie anymore. Does mommy not love me anymore? Little sweetie cried her heart out. My heart shattered into pieces hearing it. A colleague quickly comforted her. I found the first aid kit at home again, disinfected Rose baby's leg with alcohol, and applied a band-aid. After everything was properly arranged, my colleague brought back my ashes urn and personal belongings from the company. Rose baby didn't understand what was happening, but I saw a photo inside that was taken not long ago when I took Rose baby to the amusement park. In the photo, I was holding Rose baby, and we were both smiling happily. She recognized me. I asked her, Miss, are these all my mom's things? Then where did my mom go? The colleague held back tears, pointed at the urn. Your mom is inside here. If you miss her, just hug it and talk to it. Little sweetie shook his head. How could my mom turn into a jar? She doesn't know magic. You're lying. Then she immediately hugged my photo to her chest. This is my real mom, and gave it a big kiss. She smiled sweetly. The colleague sighed and placed my urn on a high shelf, then looked around again, asked, Where's your dad? Are you home alone? Little sweetie hung her head low. Mom said dad went to a faraway place to earn money. I've never seen him since I was little. The colleague couldn't believe it. Then is there no one else in your family? Grandparents on either side? The little one shook her head. Her colleague could no longer hold back tears and embraced her in her arms. Poor child. You're still so young. How could your mother bear to leave you all alone? Little sweetie retorted to her. Mom would never abandon me. Mom loves little sweetie the most. A colleague placed a card into little sweetie's hand. This is the compensation money from the company after your mother passed away. There's 200,000 in the card. The password is 6/8. Keep it safe. Don't lose it. Rose baby nodded earnestly. She clutched the card tightly in her hand, because of poverty. I've taught Rose baby since childhood that money is a good thing and must be managed well. Now, she has taken it to heart. After careful consideration, a colleague called the local welfare agency. It was specifically set up for these homeless children. I felt immensely grateful, bowing and bending in midair towards a colleague. Thank you. If I could send him to an orphanage, at least my little sweetie could survive. When the welfare agency came to pick up sweetie, she refused to leave. Clutching the door, she wailed loudly, You kidnappers, don't take little sweetie away. Little sweetie isn't worth anything. The staff at the agency didn't know whether to laugh or cry. The leading aunt squatted down. She gently told her, I'm not a human trafficker. We're here to take little sweetie home. Little sweetie frowned. She very seriously told them, This is my home. If you take me away, Mom won't see me when she comes back. If she can't see me, she'll worry. I covered my mouth. Tears streaming down my face. The people from the agency exchanged glances, their eyes moist. They coaxed gently, Be good, little one, your mom asked us to take you there to stay. She has something urgent to attend to far away and can't come back for now. She wants us to take care of you for a while. And there are many children like little sweetie there, so you won't be alone. Rose baby took the words to heart, blinking her big eyes. She stared at them, really, of course. Only then did Rose baby slowly let go. But just before getting into the car, Rose baby ran back home again. She took away the teddy bear I bought for her, and that photo, holding them tightly in her arms. The car started moving. It was Rose baby's first time traveling far with strangers, the previously forced composure. Now, fear and terror surged up together. In the end, she still broke down in tears. Mommy, little sweetie will be very good, very obedient. Will you come to pick up little sweetie soon? Okay, I follow the car, drifting along. Wherever little sweetie goes, I follow. She just couldn't see me. I couldn't touch her either. The first day at the orphanage, little sweetie was unusually quiet. She just stared blankly out the window. Every time someone passed by, she would open her eyes wide and carefully check if it was me. When she realized it wasn't me, her expression turned to nothing but disappointment. There were curious children who came to talk to her. Why did you come to the orphanage? Rose baby answered seriously, because my mom had something to do, so she sent me here. But she'll come to pick me up soon. The little boy seemed to be mocking her naivety. He snatched the teddy bear from Rose baby's hands. Your mom doesn't want you anymore. She's not coming to pick you up. What is this? Let me play with it. After hearing this, little sweetie angrily rushed over and knocked the boy to the ground. You're lying. My mom would never abandon me. This is the teddy bear my mom gave me. Give it back. The boy didn't back down either, quickly getting back up, and pushed my little treasure to the ground. He was a year or two older than little sweetie. Naturally, he was also stronger. He was sitting on top of little sweetie. He roughly pulled her hair and tore at her clothes. The teddy bear was torn apart, with stuffing spilling out from its broken body. I didn't say anything wrong. Your mom really abandoned you. All the kids here were sent in because their parents didn't want them. It's just a broken toy. I don't want it anyway. Little sweetie hugged the teddy bear tightly in her arms, fighting back with effort. You're lying. I don't believe you. Don't pull my bear. My mom gave it to me. The noisy commotion alerted the teacher. She quickly walked in, pulled the two apart. After understanding the reason, she sternly scolded the little boy. But the little boy didn't think he was wrong. I wasn't wrong. Her mom definitely won't come pick her up. She didn't believe me and even pushed me. With that, she stuck out her tongue. Little sweetie stood there. Her hair was disheveled, and her clothes were stained with dirt from the ground, like a defeated hen. Yet she still insisted. My mom would never abandon me. Don't even try to fool me. From then on, the little one grew increasingly silent. Others stopped paying attention to her as well. In private, they all whispered that she had been abandoned by her mother and refused to admit it. Every time the little one heard it, she would quickly walk away. But I saw that when she reached a place with no one around, she would secretly wipe her tears while holding the broken teddy bear. Mom, is what they said true? Did you really abandon me? I gently wrapped my arms around little sweetie, just like holding her to sleep in the past. My little treasure. Mommy is always here. Mommy won't abandon you. Mommy will always be by your side. 1 month. Baby eats very little, sleeps very little too. Those once chubby cheeks have now thinned to a point. The eyes that used to sparkle with laughter have lost their shine. She no longer looks out the window or toward the door, nor does she pester the teacher with questions like, is my mom coming to pick me up today? Today, the orphanage is unusually quiet, unlike its usual state, but suddenly, it's bustling with activity today. I only found out when the director mentioned it. Jack is coming to the orphanage today to visit the children. I heard that after he became a big star, he donated a lot of money to the welfare home, and every year, he visits this welfare home to see these children. I understand the reason. After all, we left the orphanage together. I was overjoyed. If he had seen little sweetie, he should have heard the news of my passing. Surely, he wouldn't be so heartless as to leave my little treasure in the orphanage. After all, we were once two people so deeply in love. A dense crowd stood at the entrance of the welfare home, waiting for the arrival of Jack, the philanthropist. One by one, even those children surged toward the door. Only little sweetie watched the commotion with indifference. Little sweetie, go to the door. Your dad will be here soon. If he sees you, maybe you won't have to stay here anymore. You can live a good life. Then mom can rest assured. What I said, she couldn't hear, but she picked up the pen, her childish handwriting, crooked and uneven. Little sweetie went to find mom. No need to look for me. After writing, she placed the note beside the bedding. Then she took small steps forward, heading towards the door. However, she didn't go with that group of people, but ran off in the opposite direction. I was both shocked and panicked. Little sweetie, what are you doing? Where are you going? She ran faster and faster. I thought she had already accepted the orphanage, accepted the reality that I wouldn't be picking her up again, never expected that only after seeing that note did I understand. She wants to leave the orphanage, I won't pick her up, she'll have to go find it herself. A Maybach stopped at the entrance of the welfare center. Agent Leo escorted Jack out. A group of people went forward to greet them. No one noticed that little sweetie had secretly run away. Just a little bit more, just that little bit more. Jack saw little sweetie. Now that she's out here alone, how will she survive? Dean Susan held Jack's hand and added a few more words of welcome, chatting away. Suddenly the conversation turned to me. Back then, you and that girl Rose were the closest. You must be married by now, right? Your kids must not be little anymore. As if remembering something, Jack's smile faded. He simply said flatly, we broke up long ago. Dean Susan was incredulous. Why? Jack didn't want to bring me up again. Then they discussed expanding the scale of the orphanage. Dean Susan tactfully didn't mention it anymore. Finally, she mentioned, a month ago, a little girl came to the orphanage who looks quite like that girl Rose. Seeing her was like seeing the two of you back in the day. An unintentional sigh. Jack froze in place. What's the name? Dean Susan paused to recall, her tone tinged with regret. It seems to be called Rose Baby. Ah, what a pity. That girl has no father, and her mother was quite young too. She apparently died suddenly, with no relatives around, so she was sent here. Jack suddenly stood up. All his usual composure was gone. His lips kept trembling, muttering to himself, no, it can't be her. It must be a coincidence. His reaction also startled Dean Susan. What about the child? Dean Susan also took it seriously and immediately sent someone to look for Rose Baby. I searched the entire orphanage, but couldn't find her. Director Susan and Jack spotted Rose Baby's figure through the gate surveillance. It's really her. Jack felt a surge of blood rising in his throat. A mouthful of blood clogged his throat. He forced it back down with effort. He barely managed to ask the question. Who is her mother? Dean Susan shook her head and could only instruct the teacher who had initially picked her up to retrieve that file. After Jack received that thin sheet of paper, it felt as heavy as 1,000 pounds. His hands were trembling violently. It took him a long time to turn the page. In the mother column, the name, Rose, was clearly written. Dean Susan was so shocked she couldn't speak, and Jack, the file slipped from his hand. His body swayed unsteadily, and finally, he spat out a mouthful of blood before collapsing to the ground unconscious. I followed behind little sweetie, watching as the sky grew darker and darker. The early autumn night was bone-chillingly cold, yet little sweetie was thinly clad, shivering, her shoulders hunched. I prayed that someone from the orphanage would come out to look for her soon. Several hours passed, yet there was no news at all. Little sweetie wandered aimlessly like a headless fly. Every time he saw someone, she would tug at his sleeve timidly and show him the photo she held in her arms. Uncle, have you seen my mom? But the answer was always no. She wandered through one unfamiliar street after another. My heart is also tightening more and more. I'm afraid she's cold, afraid she's hungry, even more afraid she might encounter bad people. Little sweetie, be good and go back to the orphanage, okay? It's not safe outside. I often teach little sweetie not to go out alone. She keeps it in mind, but now, she walked so far and so long alone just to find me, heartbroken beyond measure. Yet there's nothing I can do. Little sweetie is tired from walking, not even caring about cleanliness, sitting alone outside a shop. The teddy bear in her arms also drooped its head listlessly. Her stomach growled with hunger. From a sprinkler truck not far away came the melody of a song. It sounded familiar. It's Only Mama is the Best in the World, a very old song, but little sweetie loves to listen to it. When she was very young, she would occasionally cry and fuss, but upon hearing this song, she would quiet down and smile with her eyes crinkling. Little sweetie has listened to it many times. She can even sing it now. Only a mother's love is the best in the world. A child with a mother is like a treasure, nestled in mother's embrace. Happiness is beyond measure. Without a mother is the saddest thing. A child without a mother is like a blade of grass, away from mother's embrace. Where can happiness be found? Singing and singing, little sweetie began to sob. Mommy, little sweetie has become a little grass now, because mommy isn't here anymore, with no one to love or care for her. Little sweetie turned into grass. I cannot answer. Tears flow even more fiercely. How I wish I could keep loving and cherishing her forever, but now, separated by life and death, all I can do is follow behind her and pray for her. Exhausted from crying, little sweetie looked at the bear. Hope rekindling in her eyes. Little bear, do you think maybe mom just got lost and that's why she didn't come to the orphanage to find me? That must be it, so I'm going home. Mom must be waiting for me there. After considering this possibility, little sweetie suddenly perked up again. After giving himself a pep talk, he stood up, walking towards the direction of home in her memory, but now, nearly 100 kilometers away from home. She was only 5 years old and all alone. How could she possibly return? Jack woke up groggily in the hospital. His first action was to call Susan, the director of the orphanage, to ask if Rose's baby had been found. After receiving a negative answer, he anxiously stood up, pulled out the 4-tube from his hand, and was about to drive to find her. His agent Leo comforted him. Dean, Susan has already reported to the police, and they should find her soon. Don't worry, besides, you've already broken up with Rose, and her child has nothing to do with you. Jack glared at him. He angrily retorted, what kind of nonsense are you talking? Even if Rose's baby isn't my child, she is Rose's flesh and blood left in this world. How could I possibly not care for her? Leo was stunned and reminded him. Back then, she was the one who broke up with you because she didn't want to live a hard life with you anymore. That's why she left. What's there to sympathize with a woman like that? Jack's anger subsided. He hung his head. He let out a bitter laugh. Yes, she left me, but now she's suddenly passed away, and the child is still missing. I can't just walk away. Leo warned him with a cold expression. But if this gets caught by the paparazzi, you with a child, such a huge scandal. How can the company cover it up for you? Don't forget, your 10-year contract isn't up yet. If something happens during this period, can you even afford the sky-high penalty fees? Jack's expression remained calm. After a moment, it seemed he had made up his mind. If something really happens, then I'll terminate the contract. Even if it bankrupts me, I'll find her and bring her back to my side. 5 years ago, when she left, I didn't stop her, but I regret it. If I had kept her, she couldn't go on. Jack choked up, lowered his head. Tears fell. Leo was stunned. He never expected that 5 years had passed. Jack's heart still only remembered that woman, just like before, willing to sacrifice his own future for her. 5 years ago, Jack had already been in the entertainment industry for 2 years, but remained an unknown, playing minor roles and extras. His looks are top-notch, and his acting skills are quite impressive. He's a promising talent. That's why he was signed by the agency. Given a chance, Jack played the deeply affectionate third male lead in a TV drama, marking his first breakthrough. A renowned director took a liking to him and invited him to play the male lead in the next TV series. The cast is stellar, and the script has been meticulously crafted. It's a rare gem of a show. Jack was overjoyed, but then he learned about the agency's demands. Taking the idol path means no public relationships. It would lose a huge number of girlfriend fans. The safest approach is to avoid dating, at least for the first few years. If he refused, the opportunity would go to another male actor who debuted around the same time. Jack declined. The agent knew the reason for his refusal was his girlfriend, Rose. They had walked out of the orphanage together. They had been together for 10 years. They had promised to spend their lives together. Jack would rather remain obscure for the rest of his life than abandon Rose, but the talent agency didn't want to give up on him, a potential cash cow, so they had his agent approach Rose in private. Leo simply glared coldly and threw the script in front of her. If it weren't for you, he would already be the male lead in this TV drama by now, but for your sake, he gave up the chance to become wildly popular. Do you really want to keep him tied down forever? Leaving him with nothing for your sake? Rose didn't know. He had never mentioned it to her. Rose had always believed that as long as they worked hard enough, they could build a better future together, but she never expected that Jack had stayed in this place for her sake. This shabby, 20-square-meter demolition apartment. Every day brings the worry of not having hot water for washing up. Every day means waking up 2 hours early to catch the bus because of the remote location. Yet they find joy in it. Love makes even plain water satisfying. He treats her well. Rose knows. He refuses to forsake their relationship for the sake of his future, which moves and touches her deeply. But now that she knows, she can't let him give it up. She didn't want to wait until a distant future when the two of them would become a poor couple, scrambling for mere pennies. One day in the future, Jack suddenly grew tired of her, tired of this kind of life. Then it all erupted abruptly. Mentioning the past, if it weren't for her, he would have already become a top-tier celebrity. Blaming each other, That outcome was not what Rose wanted to see. She would rather leave, watching him gradually rise to great heights and achieve his dreams. So, Rose took the initiative to break up. The reason was exhaustion. She didn't want to suffer and struggle with him anymore. Such a reason was enough to disappoint him. Jack didn't try to stop her. After Rose left, he took on that TV series. With his exquisitely handsome face, the rare youthful charm in the entertainment industry, and his superb acting skills, he skyrocketed to become a phenomenon-level top star. Overnight, his social media followers increased by 30 million. This drama brought him and his agency immense profits. But Leo never expected that even after 5 years of her absence, Jack still couldn't forget her. He thought that after recently finding out her address, visiting her, and learning she was married with children, Jack would finally let go. Yet to his surprise, even in death, she wouldn't release Jack from her grasp. Once again, Jack was willing to abandon his future and the career he had painstakingly built for her sake. How laughable, pitiable, and lamentable. No matter how much he tried to persuade, Jack wouldn't listen, made up his mind, drove away at full speed. The sky had completely darkened, all around was silent. Only the dim yellow streetlights illuminated her path. Little sweetie was very afraid of the dark. Her trembling legs said it all. I held her hand, comforting her. It's okay, little sweetie, don't be afraid. Mommy is here with you. I don't know if my comfort had any effect. Little sweetie hugged the teddy bear and began to hum a song. I have the teddy bear my mom gave me, so I'm not afraid. Out of nowhere, a homeless man appeared, seeing little sweetie alone, staggering over drunkenly. Grabbing little sweetie to leave, little sweetie was terrified. Screaming, she shook him off. But the night was deep and quiet. There were hardly any people left on the streets. Little sweetie's screams had no effect. Seeing no one around, the tramp was completely at ease. He wanted to pick up the little treasure. As he lifted her, he said with a grin, "Don't be afraid, little girl, I'm a good person. Come with uncle. I'll buy you some tasty treats." I stepped in front of little sweetie. I kept cursing at the homeless man, but the homeless man's hand passed right through my body. Little sweetie fiercely bit his hand, almost drawing blood. The vagrant winced in pain. He let go. His gaze toward little sweetie turned fierce. A fierce kick landed right in little sweetie's chest. Little sweetie was kicked with such force, she fell to the ground. In pain, she burst into loud sobs. The homeless man still wanted to take little sweetie away, but he saw vehicles approaching in the distance. He ran away in fear. I desperately reached out my hand, trying to stop that car. I begged him to take my daughter to the hospital. The car sped away, completely unaware of little sweetie lying on the roadside. My heart ached unbearably. I wanted to hold my daughter in my arms, but she couldn't. Little sweetie tried several times. She wanted to get up, but the pain kept her from straightening up. A little kitten came from nowhere, followed by an old tabby cat. Watching them, little sweetie showed an envious look. "You're so lucky, little kitten, to have your mom by your side." Mentioning her mother, little sweetie choked up again. "Mommy, where are you?" Little sweetie hurts so much. Little sweetie hurts. In the past, whenever little sweetie fell and scraped her skin, I would hold her in my arms with a pained heart and blow on her wound to soothe her, for every ounce of her pain. I feel tenfold, but now, there's nothing I can do. The bright, pure moon in the sky, if only it could hug sweetie for me, how wonderful that would be. The little kitten walked forward and gently licked little sweetie's palm. The old cat also came over to nuzzle the kitten, helping it lick little sweetie's face. Little sweetie lay for a while, seemingly gradually regaining strength. She slowly got up, holding the teddy bear. She moved forward little by little, before leaving. She turned back and waved at the two cats. "Thank you, I'm leaving now. I'm going to find my mom." Dean, Susan, and the teachers spontaneously went out to search together. The police also checked the surveillance footage. They were looking for traces of Rose baby. Unfortunately, the area was remote, and the street surveillance cameras were severely damaged and had been left unrepaired for years, so the search time was extended. However, after inquiries and reviewing the surrounding surveillance footage, soon, they spotted Rose baby in the surveillance video outside a store. The police quickly began searching along that street. Half an hour later, they finally found little sweetie. She was holding a teddy bear, walking slowly along the streetlights. There was blood at the corner of her mouth. She wasn't fully conscious either. The police quickly took her to the nearest hospital. They also informed Dean Susan that the person had been found. Dean Susan then relayed this news to Jack. Upon hearing the news, Jack was frantic with worry. He turned the car around, speeding several times, and soon arrived at the hospital. Staring at the 3 words, "under resuscitation," before him, Jack felt as though he were drowning in a vast ocean, suffocating and helpless. At other moments, it seemed as if he were being scorched by raging flames, his heart and soul consumed by fire. And at this very moment, the person investigating the truth behind Rose's departure back then called him. "According to my investigation, Miss Rose met with someone at that time, your agent Leo. Shortly after that meeting, she broke up with you." Later, medical records from a hospital's gynecology department showed Miss Lynn frequently went for checkups. "It appears she was already pregnant when she broke up with you. Therefore, her child Rose baby should be yours." After a pause, he spoke again. His tone filled with regret. Over the past few years, she had been raising the child alone, and on top of that, Rose baby was in poor health. To make ends meet, she took on many grueling jobs, delivering food, working as a housekeeper, serving as a waitress, and even as an agent. It is said that Miss Rose's sudden death a month ago was related to her long working hours. These words struck like a thunderbolt, exploding in Jack's ears. So that was it, so that's how it was. Jack seemed to have lost his mind, laughing hysterically one moment and weeping bitterly the next. Passers-by couldn't help but turn their heads to look. After some time, he finally calmed down. The voice was hoarse from prolonged sobbing. "I'm sorry, Rose. It's all my fault. I failed you and our little sweetie. If only I had gone to find you sooner. If I had visited you even once in these 5 years, you wouldn't have died. And our little sweetie wouldn't be lying here. It's all my fault. I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Finally, he fell to his knees with a thud. His head hit the ground hard. Even as blood seeped from his forehead, he felt nothing. "Rose, please protect our little sweetie. She's innocent, only 5 years old. She hasn't even experienced a father's love yet. She can't leave me like this, please." Leo arrived late, looking at the slowly gathering crowd. He quickly had his bodyguards set up a security cordon, keeping those who recognized him at a distance. She threw the mask and hat at him, but it was already too late. Many people had picked up their phones and captured the moment. Whispers spread through the crowd. "Is that the celebrity Jack? Oh my God, I think it's really him. Is this a movie shoot? Doesn't seem like it. I don't see any directors or cameras. Then why is he kneeling here crying so sadly?" The crowd around him kept growing. Leo was about to lose his mind. He also lost control and started yelling at him. "Are you crazy? Do you have any idea how much damage today's incident being caught on camera could do to your reputation?" Jack saw that it was Leo who had arrived, furious with rage. He raised his fist and swung at him. "If you hadn't forced her to leave, how could I have lost her? How could little sweetie grow up without a mother? For 5 years, she hasn't known a father's love. Do you even realize that?" He roared in anger, like a desperate beast. Leo pushed him away. "I didn't know she was pregnant back then. And besides, she left voluntarily for your future. How can you blame me? Blame yourself for being incompetent. Blame yourself for not looking for her in 5 years." These words completely deflated Jack's anger. He muttered, "Indeed, it's all my fault. Over these 5 years, I gained fame and fortune, while she and her daughter lived a life of hardship. To survive and raise little sweetie alone, she worked 3 jobs. Without an education, she could only work as an agent. Then deliver takeout after hours, and serve as a waitress. All these years, she endured such suffering yet never once came looking for me. I thought about it, but I never truly sought her out, not even once. 5 years later, when I finally went, it was already a separation by death. Little sweetie was finally found. My anxious heart was half at ease. Following the ambulance, I drifted to the hospital. I never expected Jack to come here. We had already broken up long ago. That time he knocked on my door, knowing I was married with a child. He was utterly disappointed. I never thought he would come to see little sweetie, but I heard what he said, seeing him in unbearable pain, even harming himself. The heart aches. I left him for the sake of his better future. I've never regretted these years. As for whether I've thought about going back to find him, I have, but from afar, I saw him surrounded and crowded by many people, so I retreated. Over these 5 years, his dramas have become more numerous, and numerous rumors have surfaced, though none were ever confirmed. His gentle smiles toward other actresses, eyes shimmering with affection, spoke volumes. Truth or fiction, I couldn't tell, but compared to them, I fell far short. I feared bringing little sweetie to see him would only invite humiliation. Not only was I humiliated, but I was also afraid that little sweetie would be looked down upon by others. If I had known I would pass away suddenly, I would have taken her to acknowledge Jack. After all, like me, he was an orphan from childhood and took family relationships extremely seriously. He wouldn't allow his own child to be an orphan either. Back then, I grew up with him in the same orphanage, at that time. Because he was exceptionally handsome and had a solitary personality, he hardly ever spoke. He was envied by the boys in the orphanage, and because of that, he was bullied. Everyone liked to call him Little Mute, only I paid attention to him and talked to him. Actually, Jack's voice was very pleasant to listen to. With reddened eyes, he asked me, looking like a little rabbit, why did his mom abandon him? Was it because he wasn't good enough? I shake my head. Maybe your mother had her own difficulties. It's okay, even if she left you, I'll always be by your side. He smiled. It's so beautiful. From then on, we were inseparable. Many families wanted to adopt him. He would beg them to take me along as well, but all were rejected. What they liked was Jack's appearance and his obedient personality. As for me, I was too ordinary. For my sake, Jack turned down all those adoptive families. What a shame. That's what everyone said before they left. I tried to persuade him to go with them, that I'd be fine, but he refused no matter what. His eyes are clear and bright, forever vibrant in my memory. You must always stay with me, and I will always stay with you. In youth, the moment of promise was believed to be eternal, but times change, promises can lose their power too. I looked at Jack, crying bitterly, and softly spoke, Jack, I never blamed you. It's just that fate played its tricks. The three characters on the emergency room sign went dark. Both Jack and I stared intently at the doctor who emerged. His voice was almost inaudible. How are you, little sweetie? Our hearts were all hanging in midair. The doctor removed his mask and spoke. Although there was internal organ rupture, fortunately they arrived in time. After some rest and recovery, they can be discharged from the hospital. Both Jack and I let out a long sigh of relief. Now, my heart finally settled back in my chest. I slowly drifted into the emergency room, looking at little sweetie lying on the hospital bed. My heart aches unbearably, but thinking of the future, I can finally feel at ease. Perhaps because there are no more worries left in my heart, I see a long road ahead, and at its end, there is a place glowing with warmth and brightness. It's attracting me. I know I should leave too. Finally, I drifted into little sweetie's dream. She held me tightly, crying very sadly, Mommy. Little sweetie thought I'd never see you again. I searched and searched, looked for you for so long, and now I've finally found you. I held her, and cried too, little sweetie, even though Mommy has left, she's always been by your side. Mommy knows you're the bravest and most well-behaved child. From now on, Mommy won't be able to stay with you, but you have Daddy now. Your daddy is that strange Uncle Jack. Back then, Mommy left him for certain reasons when she was pregnant with you. It wasn't him who abandoned Mommy and you. So, from now on, Daddy will take good care of you in Mommy's place. But little sweetie couldn't bear to let go, crying and fussing. I don't want the strange uncle. I don't want Daddy. I only want Mommy. Mommy, please don't leave little sweetie. This was the first time she had been so disobedient, but I understood, and my heart ached terribly, yet all I could do was comfort her. Little sweetie, whenever you miss Mommy in the future, just look up at the stars in the sky. Mommy will always be watching over you from above, and the teddy bear. Consider it as Mommy staying with you. Many years from now, little sweetie will see Mommy again. We will meet again in the future. Then, little sweetie can tell Mommy how strong and brave you've been. Okay, little sweetie finally pursed her lips. With teary eyes, she nodded. Perhaps she understood. I can't accompany her anymore. I held her in my arms. For the last time, I sang to her. She fell asleep in my arms with a smile. Goodbye, little sweetie. Mom will always bless you. Jack sued the agency. He paid $1 billion in liquidated damages, yet he had no regrets. On social media, he revealed his past, his late lover, his 5-year-old beloved daughter, Rose baby. Overnight, countless fans abandoned him, but he didn't care at all. After that, Jack announced his complete retirement from the industry, stepping away from acting. When a reporter asked if the reason was that no directors were willing to work with him anymore, forcing him to retire, he smiled and replied, I just want to make up for all the lost time with her. Needless to say, everyone knew that. She referred to the daughter Jack had just recently found. The reporter teased him for being a doting father. Jack didn't deny it, nor did he appear in the public eye again. Rose baby is already 6 years old, unlike when she first arrived at Jack's house. She was quiet, now she loves to laugh and play. She has gradually accepted Jack. Jack bought a villa in the suburbs. The courtyard was planted with osmanthus trees, Rose's favorite. When autumn came, their fragrance would carry for miles. He also built a swing set among the osmanthus trees with his own hands. He would often sit on it, holding little sweetie in his arms. Recalling childhood, he and Rose sat under the osmanthus tree, laughing and playing together. Daddy, which star in the sky is mommy? Little sweetie blinked her big eyes. Jack spotted it at a glance, pointing with a finger. Your mom is the brightest one in the middle. Little sweetie smiled. Mom is so beautiful, just as beautiful as before. Jack's eyes misted over. His voice was as faint as a mosquito's hum. Yes, your mom will always be the most beautiful. After hearing the story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.